Hi, my name's Charlie, and this is my reading for the creative component of AT3. Just before I get started, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of this land and pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. Oblivion, questioning, shame, understanding. Can you have one without the other? Or is it an ecosystem, flushed with interdependence, rich with invisible strings? Could I have skipped my naivety, my thoughtless complacency? Or was I defenseless to comply to a society that had been torn down and restructured to favour me? Like a plague, did this ignorance find me defenseless and render me incapable, weak, frail, unseeing to injustice? Or perhaps I was never defenseless, just meek, silent. They say curiosity killed the cat, but was it curiosity or was it a lack thereof? Oblivion, questioning, shame, understanding. Is it a never-ending circle, inescapable, unstoppable? Or is it simply that society, that I myself, was too scared to admit my wrongdoings and commit to change? Ignorance. Was it inherited, a given at birth, like a freckle on my face or the colour of my hair? Or was it a weakness of self? Some innate uncertainty, some crack in my moral foundations that shifted the frames through which I see the world, narrowing them, a rosy tint softening the harshness of systemic injustice. I was sated with my own biases, the scope which my own perspective did not incorporate. Comfortable, sheltered, swaddled by a society that has been built on false premise and false promise. A society built upon bloodshed, built upon dispossession, built upon the manipulation of policy, the falsification of doctrines, built upon exploitation, upon violence against resistance, built upon the gall of colonists to suppose superiority, built upon their own comfort. What did I condone? Did my complacency compel the silencing of the oppressed? Did my satisfaction in my own comfort, with my own nook in the social hierarchy, permit the lax apologies, the refraction of colonization, of war on culture into a bygone? My thoughtlessness, my readiness to obscure historical injustice in favour of the moral facade I had constructed, my blatant ignorance. Where lay the difference between the morality of myself and of those before me? Where lay the line in the sand, the moral point of contrast? If colonialism were an entity, a body, carved from blind acceptance, mindless compliance, subservience to the perceptions and beliefs of the unquestioned, what is to say that that body has not grabbed a hold of my shoulders, guiding me, forcing me away from skepticism toward a lack of guilt, a lack of culpability? It's not an easy thing to question your own implicit framework, to find yourself no longer swathed in the blanket which has coddled you for so long, clamoring out of threads intertwining, tangled in the fabric of what you assumed were givens, truths. It is not an easy thing to question, but it is a worse thing to simply accept. Can one truly learn without shame? Or is emotion a consolidating factor? Could I have learned without the creeping red flush in my cheeks, without the discomfort in the pit of my stomach, without the prickling at the back of my neck, a million remorses extending their spindly fingers, prodding me towards knowledges previously unbeknownst to me? The empty claims of terra nullius, the blatant racism etched into the ideology of a land for the taking. Would this knowledge have seeped into my brain, trickling into each thought, a perspective, a truth never before considered, had my guilt not inflicted me with this vulnerability? If so, is guilt a sign of wrongdoing or a signifier, a recognition of the readiness for knowledge? If guilt was the first crack in the wall, then my appreciation was the shattering blow. The relationality of the culture, one which transcends life and death, blurring lines I had previously seen as absolute. The kinship, how connection reaches into the intangible. Though my culpability and acknowledgement thereof made my mind fragile, it was my esteem and fascination that truly opened the floodgates. Curiosity, interest, questioning. And if questioning is the enemy to conformity, my knowledge has made me a threat to the society I once sought solace in. What came first, the chicken or the egg? The guilt or the knowledge itself? The questioning or the oblivion? Like restoring sight to someone who has been blind their entire life, the world seemed overwhelming, scary, with monsters, deceptions, lies lurking in every corner, never sure if my next step would trigger a trap, lulling me into a sense of false security before sweeping my legs out from underneath me. Like someone seeing for the first time, I felt safest with my back against the wall, looking only forward. Despite security, without a backwards glance, my frame was limited, my worldview, my understanding. Without fear, can there be truth? My back is no longer against the wall. My eyes are open, my skepticism is piqued, and every step I take away from that wall, that familiarity, that blatant injustice, is a step that I can take towards the truth. Thank you for listening.